senior Rotaxes then. And if the heats are anything to go by, this should be the biggest walkover we've had so far, because Ben Folland has been absolutely superb. It'll probably come to the fruition that this is the closest battle we have all in the finals, isn't it, all day. Row 1 then on pole position, Ben Folland and Sam Baker in the 31 alongside. Row 2, 88, Alex Moody, and 67, Louis Weaver. Row 3, George Donalds and Jack Gillingham. Row 4, Ethan Martin and Lucas Ellingham. Row 5, Archie Buttle and William Pemble. Row 6, Charlie Webb and Jack Cooper. Row 7, Leo Brown and James Tester. Row 8, Brandon Klein, Nigel Vort and Hazaki Hussein. Row 9, Jack Hollins and Ben Ballou. Row 10, Benjamin Southgate and Lorenzo Cordal. Row 11, Romarian Ubi and Harrison Morrow. Row 12, Paolo Nunez Aranda and Stefan Kashmachik. Row 13, Ross Tyler and Jack Wilch. Row 14, Mac McFarquhar and Jake Riches. Row 15, Stephanie Hobacker and Finley Hayes. Row 16, Asapinda and Harry Ballor. And row 17, Samuel Cook and Joe Fox.
Right, here we go then. Last final of the day. Can we get it done first time of asking? It looks like we can. Senior Rotax final is off, underway and racing. And immediately Ben Folland, as we would expect, takes the early lead then. Look at this, 3 wide, 4 wide in the background as they all try and make their way through a rather sketchy first couple of corners. They do seemingly all make it through though. A bit of argy-bargy up into Christmas Corner as they all hold that inside line. A few risking around the outside, and it really does work out for a few of them, stealing some good positions away. But look at the gap Ben Folland is already starting to make at the front of the field.
There were some spinners in the background. You can see the green flags waved after a yellow. We'll keep an eye on who they potentially were. I think Brangon Nagelvort hasn't come through on Sector 1 yet, so we could see him, his day go from promising to downright poor.
Yeah, he's just come through, I think, 6-7 seconds behind. Benjamin Southgate also has, he's just come through 20 seconds behind. So yeah, some big offs on that first lap.
Nasty, isn't it, really? But Ben Folland, he was qualified in pole. He was first in Heat 1. Pretty sure he was first in Heat 2.
I'm pretty sure he's won both, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he qualified in pole, and it looks like he's already gapping Sam Baker and the rest of the field. He's the only driver to delve into the 59s on that lap. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into the 57s out there at some point during this race, because he is absolutely electric as Ben Folland. Sam Baker is not slow, not a slow driver whatsoever. Look at Lucas Ellingham, all trying his best to climb all over the curves to get any kind of run on George Donald to get into the podium positions. He may be the only driver that we can put money on if he can get into second place to catch up to Ben Folland. But the more that Ben Folland, the more laps he has in the lead unopposed, the further away he's going to be. But Lucas Ellingham, after what has been a poor day for him, is trying to charge through and make something of this miserable November weekend for him.
Yeah, Lucas Ellingham's had some difficulties today, hasn't he? Some bad luck through the first couple of heats. Of course, started off the day pretty well. He was nicely up the grid for both heats, but on the first lap, had some sort of issues, was taken out quite massively on the first heat, managed to fight back to a 16th. I think he was then up near the low end of the top 10 after some issues in heat number 2 as well, but he's already battling through nicely, up 5 positions in the opening couple of minutes of this race. Lucas Ellingham now has the fastest lap, 59.08, and he's only just less than 2 seconds behind Ben Folland. As you say, I think the 45 of Lucas Ellingham could be the only person to potentially challenge Ben Folland here. He hasn't even had to think about Lucas Ellingham through the day. Lucas has been nowhere near him due to those issues, but now he might just come into play.
That's not to say that Lucas Ellingham is the only driver, those two are the only drivers that could win.
Oh, no.
14 flies off the circuit. Just before I carry on my train of thought, Jack Cooper flies off, unfortunately. But if the Lucas Ellingham can catch up to Ben Folland and they fight, you can still see Sam Baker, you can still see George Donald, Louis Weaver in with an opportunity. But they need someone to rein him in.
They do. And look at this, Lucas Ellingham's already hounding that rear axle of the 31 of Sam Baker as they head through the first couple of corners. Just look how much Lucas Ellingham moves himself around in that kart to maximise grip out of the tyres as he flies through those opening couple of corners, and he does set a new fastest lap of the race, 58.120 for Lucas Ellingham. It was fastest laps, or personal best I should say, for pretty much every driver on the field, but Lucas Ellingham a good 5-6 tenths of a second faster than anyone. Now puts the move on Sam Baker, now takes second place, and now only has clear air between himself and Ben Folland. And look how close he is.
if I was Sam Baker, I wouldn't be too disappointed. Use Ellingham to catch up to Folland. Hope that Folland fights him. And then
He's got to now. I think I don't think working together is going to work for Ben Folland. Lucas Ellingham has caught him very, very quickly here, and I think we could see some heavy defending from Ben Folland even to hold on to the lead here. 0.3 of a second between them as they come across the line, and as you said previously, if they do start fighting, Sam Baker is very interested, George Donald is very interested, Louis Weaver is very interested, and so it's everyone in behind. New fastest lap the way of Lucas Ellingham, but Ben Folland knows it. Ben Folland defends.
Yeah, he was 9/10 quicker on that previous lap. Ellingham, then Folland, and as they go towards Ashby, there's going to be a change for the race lead because Lucas Ellingham slides his way up the inside. Is there going to be an answer from Folland? No, there isn't. Ellingham gives him a tap of the helmet, says, let's work together, let's get gone. I don't believe that for a second.
So he dived to the inside there. Impressive stuff. Just bled off the brakes there, allowed the kart to wash all the way to the outside to make sure that Folland couldn't get the better exit there and dip back round us outside. Beautiful move from Lucas Ellingham. You can tell that he's done that a few times before.
Yeah, to be fair, every time I've seen him race, he doesn't have to overtake anybody.
No, very true. He's usually out the front, isn't he?
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see him actually do it, but he didn't seem to mind too much, did he? He's carved through. He's gotten through, and he's opened up a 6/10 gap. Ben Folland probably thought his day couldn't have gone any better, and then all of a sudden, into the final he goes. Oh,
as we've said many times, it doesn't matter where, well, it does matter where you finishes in Heat 1 and Heat 2 because it sets up the grid for the final. But really, it doesn't matter because if you can get to the front of the final, it doesn't matter where you started from.
Yeah.
You still take that WM plate, and Lucas Ellingham is seemingly doing just that at the moment. Will Ben Folland have any sort of answer from this pace from Lucas Ellingham? There was a whole second faster Lucas Ellingham was on the last lap than Ben Folland. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
It's very, very quick indeed. How's Brendan Klein-Nagelvoort getting on? He's in 16th place. He started in 15th. And it surprised me considering the driver who was so promising earlier on in the day. It's just not come to fruition, has it? I mean, some technical issues and gremlins haven't helped. But, yeah, a bit of a shame for him as we now watch the 101 on our screens. Who is the 101? Where are we looking here? Oh, it's Archie Buttle. Of course it is. Is that Jack Gillingham?
No, Jack Gillingham's fallen off a bit. He's got the orange lid in the background, so it's Alex Moody he's battling with, I think.
Alex Moody getting a nice little cut back there as well, actually. Can he get the run through Fair Lady?
They were very slow, whoever that was off of the corner. Whether they were batting, was that Archie Buttle who's gone slowly off of the corner? Might have come to a stop, actually, out of Oblivion and Crook there. So we'll keep an eye as they come through the sectors. And yeah, there you go. The 101 of Archie Buttle has come to a halt then. And that's his WM plate final over.
Yeah, he didn't pull it onto the grass though or anything. I'm not. There we go. He's pulling it onto the grass now. Not actually sure what happened there, but oh, we've only got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. John,
hey, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, no, it's mad, isn't it? Anyway, I said that someone's going to go into the 57s. To be fair, I backed Ben Folland to do it. Well, Lucas Ellingham has just done it twice in a row, 57.76. And that is faster than Ben Folland by a second. And that's best lap. That's the fastest laps compared.
That's insane.
Yeah, a bit of a cheat code right now, isn't it?
Insane.
George Donald is also just as fast as Ben Folland, and Sam Baker is only a couple of tenths off. George Donald maybe just catching up to the back of Sam Baker a touch, actually. So that might be a podium battle to be keeping an eye out on. Everybody else seems to be somewhat line astern.
Yeah, the drivers at the lower end of the top 10, still in very good positions, are lapping in the 1 minute mark.
Yeah.
Lucas Ellingham is almost 3 seconds a lap faster than people still in the top 10. Unbelievable pace from Lucas Ellingham. All he's got to do now is just keep it on the track. He's got a 3 second gap back to Ben Folland now, just over a minute left to go. And it's just a case of, holding it together and bringing home the victory now for the, I believe, Jack Dex Racing driver, Lucas Ellingham, on that number 45 plate. He comes across the line now, starts a new lap of the race. Just over a minute to go then, so I think we can assume 3 more laps of this one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be something along those lines, won't it? That is 16 of George Donald, and as I said before, maybe catching up a touch to the back of Sam Baker.
He's looking for the podium, isn't he?
Yeah, he wants it badly, and he was about 2 tenths quicker on that previous, maybe 3 tenths quicker actually on that previous lap. He was maybe a couple of tenths quicker on the lap before as well. Slowly pulling him in. It is only slowly, but it might be enough to catch him towards the end. Maybe on a last lap lunge. Lucas Ellingham is going to be starting I think he's probably, yeah, we're going to get this
get
half
2
a
more.
lap plus
Yep.
2 more, won't we? So you're right, 3 laps. It's going to be close, but yeah, he's coming around the final corner now, so he's about to start. Yeah, this will be the penultimate lap he is starting. So we are watching George Donald, who's not had a bad day either. To be fair, it's just the way it goes, isn't it? The way just realised, I said at the beginning, I was like, well, Ben Folland, he's won both races. He's qualified on pole. He's qualified on pole here. It's probably the biggest sort of obvious one.
He's the guarantee.
He's the guarantee. It's the most obvious guarantee. And here we are with him not winning the race. I'll call that the commentator's curse. But actually, I don't want to, because to be fair, it's been very good driving by Lucas Ellingham. Ben Folland hasn't really done anything wrong. But it's just one of those things. I can't believe I got it wrong.
I know, yeah, likes to flag victory in both heats for Ben Folland. It would have seemed guaranteed, but hey, when Lucas Ellingham's around, nothing is guaranteed.
Motorsport for you, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
You can't take anything for granted.
No, exactly, you definitely cannot. But the timer has now ticked to 0. You saw Lucas Ellingham there flying around your shot and flying around the last couple of corners. He will start the final lap of the race then, and that gap was extended past 5 seconds. It's going to be even more now when they come across the line once more. Now 6.2 seconds in the lead. Lucas doesn't even look like he's particularly trying through the last few laps of this, and is still getting about half a second to a second a lap on the rest of his competitors.
Yeah, he's loving life, isn't he? That's all he's doing right now.
He's chilling.
Why wouldn't he? I remember one time, you lead a race or something like that, and you look in your mirrors and you think, oh, I've got 2 laps to go. And you think, I can't really see anybody. You just think, oh my God, I can enjoy it for once. I'm not just on edge constantly. Like, I can actually maybe enjoy the last couple of laps.
For me, I maybe think that actually puts the pressure on me, as in no one can take me out. Only I can chuck this away.
It's a frame of mind, to be honest.
It's got to be, it's got to be the frame of mind.
I've done that a fair few times, but he's won enough races, hasn't he, now to not worry about that.
Amazing as Lucas Ellingham, and he's showing his incredible skill here in a very cold, very chilly and very wet November afternoon. It is Lucas Ellingham who's going to take the WM plate in Senior Rotax. He's won 4 years in a row in Senior X30. He wins, I believe he won the WM plate last year for Senior X30, moves over to Senior Rotax, takes the win in the championship, now takes the WM plate as well. Who can stop Lucas Ellingham? I just don't know. Ben Folland looked like he could all day, still finishes 6 seconds behind in the final. What a race, what a race day for Ben Folland. 2 wins in both of the heats, a win in each. Sadly, can't convert it in the final. Lucas Ellingham takes the WM plate for Senior Rotax. Ben Folland has to settle for second. Sam Baker rounds out the podium. We'll run you through the rest of the order now as we watch out for those nose cones as they come into the pit lane. It was George Donald, Louis Weaver in behind in 4th and 5th. Charlie Webb, Alex Moody, Brandon Klein-Nagelvor, Leo Brown and Jack Gillingham rounding out the top 10. Behind them, Lorenzo Cordal, Ben Ballou, William Pemble, Zaki Hussain, James Tester, Jack Collins, Ethan Martin, Harry Blore, Stefan Kaczmarczyk and Jake Richards there in 20th. Then it was Harrison Morrow, Stephanie Becker, then Mac McFarquhar, good race from him up to 23rd. Benjamin Southgate in behind, then Paolo Nunes-Aranda, Romarin Ubi, then Jack Wilch, Finney Hayes, Ross Tyler and Asa Pinder rounded out the top 30 with Jack Cooper and Joe Fox rounding out the 32 finishers. And of course, sadly, we lost Archie Buttle on the 101 earlier on in that race. Well, let's have a look then. Lucas Ellingham, hopefully you would assume, he did make quite a few overtakes in that race, but from about halfway through he didn't see anyone, so you'd hope he doesn't have a penalty. Neither does the 81 of Ben Folland. Neither does the 31 of Sam Baker. So there you go then, your provisional podium in a Senior Rotax WM Plate final. So Lucas Ellingham, Ben Folland and Sam Baker. What a way to end a brilliant day of racing.